How about positional crossfade with soft and loud samples? Positional crossfade is similar to velocity crossfade, but instead of blending one sound into each other on the same note, we get either a loud or a soft sample, depending on how hard we depress the key, like so. You don't have to record specific samples for this function. You can simply take any number of samples on an existing disc and turn them into hard soft samples. So I have a marimba vibe disc already loaded in. Okay, let's write a new program and take one sample from the marimba and one sample from the vibes and use the positional crossfade. Press Edit Program. Move the cursor to select. Press the letter and write in our new program, which I already have done. And we'll call it PX fade, or positional crossfade. Let's go to page 2. Move the cursor to positional crossfade and press on. Move to the next page. Page 3. Move the cursor to copy and delete. We want to delete some key groups, so we'll press the off button 3 times to delete 3 key groups. Okay, we have 1 key group left. Let's go to page 4. Move the cursor to the velocity switch threshold. Now, you can't create a loud sample unless the velocity switch threshold is less than 128. So let's dial the threshold switch down to about 80. Go to page 5. Assign our soft sample, key group 1, vibes. Low key, C3, MIDI key 60, high key is C5, MIDI note 84. Go to page 7. This is our loud sample field. Okay, we'll want to assign marimba C3. Note that the key group and range are already set. Okay, press enter. Play the keyboard. Okay, now we have a marimba if I hit the key hard and the vibes if I hit the key soft. So. Okay. If you want to adjust the velocity switch, just go back to page 4 and adjust your velocity according to the way you like to play. Press the play button and we'll see the new program. Number 6, positional crossfade. There are a few more edit function programs that we should talk about. So let's go to page 5 of the edit program. Okay, this is our soft sample section again. So let's move to one more page, page 6, and here we have loudness. Pressing the arrow cursor once moves you into the key group field. Choose which key group you're going to be dealing with. Press the arrow cursor again. Okay. The loudness or volume works exactly like the volume setting in the edit sample section. Okay. Let's go to filtering. Pressing the arrow cursor at 99, no filtering occurs at all. As the filter number gets smaller, more highs are cut off. This is good for taking out hiss. Push the arrow cursor again, and you're in the transposition field. Each number raises or lowers the pitch by 1/2 step. Pressing the arrow cursor again puts you in the fine pitch field. This raises or lowers the pitch in small increments. 16 degrees equals 1/2 step. This is helpful for sounds that are slightly out of tune. Pages 7 and 8 are identical to page 5 and 6, except they deal with the allowed samples. Okay, let's move to page 9. Page 9 is your ADSR section. First of all, we have attack. Okay, we have it for each key group, so dial up the key group individually or set them all. Pressing the arrow cursor again puts you in the attack field. This determines how long it takes for the pitch to sound. At the 0, the sound plays immediately. The higher the number, the longer it takes for the note to sound. Let's move to decay, the next field. Okay, we're in the decay field. This determines how long it takes a sound to go from the highest level achieved in the attack phase to the sustain level, which will be set next. Hit the arrow cursor again, and you're in the sustain field. This determines the sound level for the time the key is held down. Let's go to release. Press the arrow cursor again to get into the release field. This determines how long it takes the note to die out after releasing the key. Page 10. This deals with velocity response, or how hard you hit the key. Loudness. In the loudness field, the higher the number and the harder you hit the key, the louder the sound will be. At 0, the loudness will always be the same. Filter. Pressing the arrow cursor again puts you in the filter field. At 0, no filtering will occur at all. The higher the number, 0 to 99, and the harder you play, the brighter the sound will be. Okay, let's go to attack. Press the arrow cursor again to get into the attack field. At 0, the attack will be constant, but as you increase the number from 0 to 99 and play harder, the attack will get more percussive. Release. Press the arrow cursor again to get the release field. At 0, the release times will all be the same. As you increase the number from 0 to 50, releasing the keys quickly causes a shorter release time. This brings us up to page 11. The pitch warp section. Okay, first of all, velocity. This causes a pitch change in the beginning of the sound, either up or down. Push the arrow cursor to get into the velocity field. The velocity doesn't work unless you have the attack offset on. The higher the number from 0 to 99, and the harder you play, the more warp there will be. Let's go to time. Press the arrow cursor to get to the time field. The higher the number, the longer the change will be. Attack offset. Press the arrow cursor. Attack offset. In the attack offset field, this is the total amount of change and the direction of it. At minus 50, the sound will come up from below the pitch to the real pitch. At plus 50, the sound will come down above the pitch into the real pitch. Let's go to page 12. This is our LFO section, depth rate. This adds low frequency oscillation or vibrato. The depth field determines the total amount of modulation. The rate field determines how fast the modulation is. The delay field determines how quickly the modulation starts after you hit it. And desync. The desync field determines if the waveform of the modulation starts at the same time or at different times for all the individual key groups.